the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Man, we're seeing a lot of each other.
I know. It wasn't even 24 hours ago. Maybe it was a little more than 24 hours ago, I guess. A little bit more than 24 hours ago, I saw you. And it was so nice of you to hop in, Andy. It really cut the tension in the fourth quarter. That's as nervous as I've been for a big game I don't know, maybe since like a Giants Super Bowl.
You're a grown man. You're getting nervous for your team playing.
I mean, it's more than that.
But you said you last night during the broadcast, we're talking Knicks, Sixers live for all the substackers, the paid substackers.
That's right. And the free substackers, actually.
Okay.
It was free for everybody.
Nice.
All you had to do was sign up. And many things, Andy, many things that we do like this, you're probably listening right now on a free preview. A lot of things we do are free. It's free to sign up. Go to dirtysports.com, put your email address in, become a subscriber for free. And then you can decide later on if you fucking want to pay for it or not. When you get that email, Yoshi's on. Is that when you're paying? You get an email. Ruther's releasing a live tweeting of the Tinder date screenshots. Who knows? Who knows the things you'll get?
Those are gone, by the way. I'm just going to let people know.
A He Who Shall Not Be Named episode. We've talked about that. But you were about to say something about last night.
Lost my train of thought. I think I was about
my nerves.
Yeah, you had some serious nerves watching that game one.
Well, here's the thing, and this from I would say that the only non-New York sports event I've ever been nervous for in the last God knows how long was the Eagles-Pats Super Bowl, because I just hate the Eagles and I hate Philly fans so much. And actually, I've always said this about Philadelphia. I hate Sixers fans the least because I've gone to games at the old Spectrum. I've gone to games at like the Wells Fargo Arena or whatever their new arena is called. I've been there, and the relationship that Sixers fans have with visiting fans is different than Eagles fans and Phillies fans. And I think a big part of that is that it's just like, it's more of an urban crowd. It's not the fucking camouflage wearing, Wawa eating fucking trash bags that go to that come to the game and scream racist shit. So I've always liked Sixers fans a little bit more. So much respect for this Sixers team generally. Like, they moved on from Doc Rivers a couple years ago. I like Embiid, as a player. I like Tyrese Maxey. I like a lot, the trust the process, which we, turned into thus the process. And, it feels weird because we absolutely manhandled them throughout the regular season, beat them 3-1, including just a smackdown of them with Embiid. And then all of a sudden they beat the Heat, and the conversation every single person who was asked about it on the Sixers was like, we knew we needed to win this game. We can beat the Knicks. And it's like, there's literally no proof of that whatsoever this season. And also just like a barrage of bulletin board material. It's coming from their players. It's coming from their fans. It's coming from whatever. This idea that the Sixers team, who trusted the process, had an MVP, and have been to how many finals? None?
How many Eastern Conference finals?
Did they get to one? I don't even know. I don't even know if they got to one. So yeah, just like the absolute audacity to attack the New York and then like disrespecting like individuals on the Knicks team. Disrespecting individuals. They don't have a fucking guy on their team who can guard Joel Embiid. Mitchell Robinson had 27 minutes last night of firm disagreement. Josh Hart, our game plan is we're going to leave Josh Hart open. How'd that work out for you? Jalen Brunson plays bad. Dante DiVincenzo plays not great. OG Anunoby, not a great shooting day. Knicks win by fucking, what, 7? The audacity. So I was just like, and now, and the spinning and the coping. So Joel Embiid, in one of the great plays I've seen in I don't know how long, that the play he got hurt on, the self pass off the backboard, hammer dunk, incredible fucking play, like elite shit. He goes down, the Knicks inbound the ball quickly and get up the court, 5-on-4. Garden crowd is going, go, 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 go. Philly fans, the audacity to wake up today and start an online campaign that Knicks fans were cheering his injury. This is literally your MO. This is you waking up and being like, you know what New Yorkers do? New Yorkers take thin cut steak and cook it on a flat top grill and cover it in cheese whiz. New York, you know what New Yorkers do? New Yorkers eat meals at fucking gas stations. You know what New Yorkers do? New Yorkers say wooder instead of water. Like, if this is literally your entire being is rooting injuries of your opponents, and now you get up today and you've decided this is what you're going to play. It's now I'm just like, fuck Philadelphia forever. And now, Sixers fans, you've joined the list. Fuck you guys. Out of the woodwork, all these fucking Eagles, Philadelphia Phillies fans, they've all joined in to the Sixers bandwagon. How's that going for you? We don't have Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson plays like shit. You fucking took an L. Knicks in 5.
By the way, Joel Embiid has never played in an Eastern Conference Finals game. So,
fraudulent MVP. Great player, fraudulent MVP.
Yeah. The process really didn't work.
Everybody, you know, my friend Paul, shout out to Paul, who subscribed yesterday and came in and joined the party, was like, you're going to have to delete all this Joel Embiid hate when we eliminate them and he demands a trade to New York. Fuck Joel Embiid. I don't want him and his soon-to-be fucking lost Sugarfoot to diabetes. What the hell? What? I truly don't. I truly wouldn't want him.
Well, you know, here's my thing. I don't want any player that's injury prone.
Well, first of all, I have a superstar. And we got him on a budget deal, and now we're going to have to extend him, and we're going to have to give him the max. Isaiah Hartenstein, not a great job to start the game yesterday against Joel Embiid. If we want to keep him, he's going to have to get paid this summer. A lot of guys are going to have to get paid, and that's not including the fact that, you know, it would be nice if the Knicks could move a Julius Randle and upgrade it to 4. It would be nice. It would be nice if they can't do that. You know, there's a lot of like talk about there. So it's like the idea that we want I don't want Joel Embiid clogging up the middle of my floor, being injured, taking a max contract. I literally don't want you. So, no, I won't have to delete that. Joel Embiid can get fucked. Enjoy Philadelphia. By the way, when you hobble your way through 4 games and we smack the shit out of you, you're going to see what Philadelphia is all about. This like cute, like I run in the streets like Rocky. I play pickup basketball with the kids. Now when you get eliminated in the first round, they're going to spit in your face and they're going to call you racial slurs because Philadelphia is a fucking trash bag city full of trash bag people. I wasn't even coming into this series with this energy, but you guys are the 7th seed, played in a fucking play-in with the audacity to show up to Madison Square Garden to play the 2 seed, thinking that you are something. Get fucked.
The Philly hate is strong with this one tonight. It's like old dirty sports. They had a lot of celebrities at the Garden, and we were talking about it, watching the game. How do you think Tracy Morgan celebrated? He was at the game. Did he get another girl pregnant last night?
Andy, I told you this yesterday.
Yeah,
and I was saying he says he thinks he has 30 to 40 babies.
What does that mean? He thinks he has 30 to 40 babies.
I think he doesn't know how many women he's impregnated. He's like, at one point during the Roommates podcast, he's like, I spend more money on Dominicans than the Yankees farm system.
That's a great line. But is he talking alimony, or he just doesn't know how many girls? Because he's rich and famous. If a girl
not only is he rich and famous, he has the fucking Walmart money on top of it. I think they settled with him for hundreds of millions of dollars.
There was an NDA, right? They haven't disclosed.
It's one of the funniest podcast appearances I've ever heard.
I'm going to have to listen to it. People thought he was going to die.
Yeah. He was in a coma. And also, Fat Joe was on the Roommates podcast. So Fat Joe and Tracy Morgan know each other originally because they were both scalpers outside Madison Square Garden.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah. But I love it. I love that he's a fucking legit Knicks fan too. He was talking like on the podcast. He was like, I got a guy at the Dream Mall out in Jersey. I got a Jalen Brunson Villanova jersey. I got a Dante Villanova jersey. I got one of your jerseys, Josh Hart. I got all the Villanova jerseys.
How often does that come out?
Weekly. And they're getting these major guests.
I mean,
yeah,
they're stars in New York.
Exactly. Fat Joe, Tracy Morgan, Ben Stiller. Who else have they had on? I mean, they obviously do a lot of. They had Chad Ochocinco on when they were in Miami. He was saying he beat LeBron James in one-on-one. Like dude, you got to hear the Chad Ochocinco claims of the people.
That's a Cat Williams. That's a Cat Williams.
The people he's beaten in one-on-one. Ask LeBron.
Ocho said he beat LeBron one-on-one.
Yeah, he says he's beaten everybody one-on-one.
Picks, vids, or didn't happen, bro.
Right.
Come on. This is 2024. I need to see evidence.
Yeah.
He was being serious about that?
Dead serious.
When?
I mean, he's claimed he's beaten he's like, I've beaten everybody. They're like, how many points do you think you'd score if you like played in the NBA? It's like, I'm 27 a game.
I mean, did he even play basketball?
I don't know.
It's unbelievable. That's who they should have had on the Kelsey podcast. They were in Cincinnati last week.
And they had Burrow on, right? Did they do like the University of Cincinnati arena?
Yeah, so they did it where they play basketball. They were supposed to do it outside. They basically sold out the arena.
It's crazy.
For a pod, man.
Yeah. Remember when we sold out the lab with fucking Rappaport? Let's go.
Yeah.
Also, there were seats available. But we had a good crowd.
It was mostly packed.
Full. Yeah. It wasn't a small fucking college basketball arena, though.
Yeah, not 13,000+ people.
That's crazy. What do you even do? Like, what are you even doing if you're in like the top deck of that? What are you even watching?
I don't know. It's a good question. I was thinking the same thing. Bro, did you see Burrow's new haircut real quick?
No.
Man. I'll tell you what, Bengals fans aren't gonna like to hear this, but like I see this and I'm like, bro, I don't know if I'm trusting you now. Like, what's
How bad is this haircut?
I just like is he trying to be emo? Like what is he doing?
I
Him
don't
with
love it.
what?
I don't love it.
No, this is him with Sam Hubbard and the Bengals. I mean,
Sam Hubbard is. Why does it feel like he's just absolutely dwarfing him?
well, one is a defensive end. I mean,
Still, like Joe Burrow's what, 6'5"?
Yeah. I mean,
Where
what's up
are
with
they?
his hair?
Is this for the podcast?
No, they were at a wedding. I guess Hubbard posted this on his Instagram. They were at a wedding over the weekend. I just here's what I'm gonna say, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, here we go, Ruther," especially the Bengals fans. I can already see Randy Ruther.
Oh, Randy Ruther punching the air right now.
This is what I'm gonna say. Like, I understand there's other things going on now with athletes, but like, you got to win at shit, man. Like, don't start going into this your image. I don't know. This is just my take. Like, that hair to me reeks of like what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it. I'm just gonna say I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Get a different haircut.
Andy Ruther, boomer Bengals fan.
I'd feel differently if he wasn't coming off an injury. That's the truth.
Okay.
Like rehab the knee, not the hair. That's all I'm saying. You don't like the look either, do you?
I mean, that's I don't love it.
Well, exactly. So
Yeah.
you're agreeing with me.
He's not my quarterback. If he's my quarterback, I'd be like, I'm not worried about it. I just don't love the look. I'm not concerned that the look is like is descriptive of some state of mind.
I mean, it looks like he should be in an emo band. That's all I'm saying. You don't want your star quarterback looking like he should be in an emo band. Like any look but that look, I would actually say. That's probably the worst look you could do. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want my star quarterback, if I'm a fan of a team, thinking he's going to bust out this.
Well, it is the off season. Maybe he shaves, maybe he goes crew cut for the regular season. You never know.
What I was about to say was that Brady was changing his look all the time too. And I didn't always like it, but Brady would win Super Bowls. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I'll just give a sneak peek. I'm down on the Bengals, boys. I'm digging in again.
You're down on the Bengals again?
Oh yeah.
We literally covered one basketball game.
No, we're about to hop back.
It's the NBA playoffs. Ruth is on NFL quarterback haircuts and season predictions. We got through one game.
No, first of all, I've been good for the record. We all know this.
Watching some games.
I've been good. I just wanted to get that out. Disappointing second half for the Lakers. As guys who like to see them do well, see LeBron do well. Disappointing second half. That's how the series is going to be. I think we both agree.
Yeah. I don't like, that's the thing. I don't have super high hopes. Like, obviously I'm not a Lakers fan. But I do root for LeBron. And again, like I said, sort of a win-win series for me because I think the thing with LeBron and Jokic, and I talked about this a little bit last episode, but Jokic has a pretty I don't think it's near LeBron's level. First of all, he doesn't have the experience and he has whatever, but like Jokic has a pretty elite handling of the game mentally, the way the whole game runs through him. That I feel like even the great players LeBron has gone up against in his career, I think he's just had such an advantage over them mentally. I'm not talking about like the will to win. I'm talking about like adjustments within the game, within plays, like on the floor, seeing things happen, making adjustments that in a way that is more than just, hey, we take a timeout, we go over this with everybody. I think he's a true floor general, offensively and defensively. Even when he's standing around on defense, he's hollering at what guys should be doing. And I just think Jokic is similarly great at running his team, that I don't think that the Lakers get enough of an advantage in that aspect. And I think you pair that with the fact that a lot of LeBron's teams historically have been undermanned, but the combination of LeBron himself always being the best player on the court and him always being the smartest player on the court has allowed them to win championships, has allowed them to overcome teams that are way better personnel-wise. The Nuggets are better personnel-wise. LeBron is 39. Jokic is very, very smart, is a very, very smart basketball player and a very, very smart leader. It's tough to overcome, man. That's why the Nuggets are fucking favorites again.
Yeah, I remember at one point in that game, they were talking about how he only had 4 points. I think late second quarter.
Jokic, yeah.
Yeah, he finished.
Like, doesn't matter.
30.
Yeah.
I think you just get that vibe. You watching that game. Nuggets are going to go on a big run here. Hit some shots. Get the crowd fired up. 420 in Denver, too. Which, for the record, we should have called some of that game. I'll just put it out there. The Dirtballs were pining for it after the Knicks game. I should have hopped on for the first half.
Well, listen, we got a lot of games coming up this week. We got a lot of games. I mean, into next weekend, if the Lakers survive that long. I mean, you got Nuggets Lakers 8:30 p.m. Saturday.
I'll be honest. I'm not as interested in calling that series.
Nuggets Lakers?
Yeah.
You just said that we should have.
Well, it's because we were already live.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because that's not an interesting series to me, because I think Denver wins in 5.
Right. Well, we have Sixers Knicks 1 p.m. Sunday. If that series goes that long.
You're really confident after one game.
I wouldn't say I'm really confident. Actually, Sunday would be game 4, so it does have to go that long. But yeah, I am confident because Jalen Brunson didn't play well. And dude, for Jalen Brunson not to play well and for us to come out and win, I don't see that happening 2 times in a series.
Will you be in New York when they have a game at home?
Yes, I'll be there for the Tuesday game 5. Tuesday, April 30th, game 5, if necessary. I currently have a show booked at Gotham, but happy to cancel my spot if I can manage myself to get tickets to that game. Maybe Tracy Morgan wants to go.
Courtside.
Yeah, I mean, if Tracy invites me, I'll have to start hanging around at the cellar and be like, "Yo, Tracy Morgan, take me to the basketball game." Might have to hit up some of my serious Knicks fan friends. Some of the guys I know who have tickets or access to tickets, kind of people who can call a guy, you know?
I don't know. I know nothing about that. I have no connections. Definitely not the Knicks.
Well, if any dirtballs out there happen to be Knicks season ticket holders, hit me up, dog.
Get Prano a gold chain so he can look like Tracy Morgan.
Dude, if any dirtballs are Knicks fans and want to get tickets to the game, I'll get us both gold chains.
When's the last time you saw a Knicks playoff game live?
I mean, oh yeah, but I mean, it's got to be. I don't think I've gone to a. I don't think I went to one like during the Melo era. I think probably the late 90s.
So Melo is such a hater. Do you think he's rooting against them?
He's like in his heart, yeah. He's openly rooting for them, but in his heart, yeah, I think he is.
What a hater.
He was on, like, I think he might do a podcast with Miro.
I think he does.
Like a regular I can't think of anybody. What a turncoat to be a fucking Melo stan. But he was like, I'm a perfect fit for this Knicks team. I'm like, bro, get fucked. Get all the way fucked. You would run Jalen Brunson the fuck out of town for fucking taking your shots.
Oh, he said he was a perfect fit for the current Knicks team.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, always wanted a point guard who's fucking legit like that. And everybody in the things were like, remember when fucking Linsanity turned into Jalen Brunson and you insisted that he be moved to a different team and got the coach fucking fired?
Wow. Yeah, that's insane talk, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a podcast. That's regular that those guys do. It's actually the same company that does New Heights with the Kelsey brothers.
Wow.
Wave Sports Plus Entertainment. And it looks like this is the pods they have. They have New Heights, Mellow and Marrow's 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. The Right Time with Bomani Jones, Podcast P with Paul George, and RG3.
Podcast P.
You know what I find interesting, man? Like these guys, we've talked about podcasts with athletes. Guys, just a lot of you guys aren't interested. I hate to say it. And we know this just from talking to athletes and dealing with athletes. And that's not a dig for the record.
Right.
You're a literally a 0.1% greatest at your field,
right.
at your work.
Yeah.
But like a lot of you guys aren't interested.
No.
I want to hear you behind a microphone. You don't have too much to say. Does Dame Lillard have a podcast?
I don't think so.
Dude went off tonight, huh?
Yeah, and as we started the podcast, it was getting close for a second, but I think it's not close, right? It's over. 109.94. Okay, 15-point win. A lot of people on the Pacers.
I know.
Because of Giannis being out. And then, listen, I think the Pacers building something a little bit like feels a little, feels a little sus with the lack of defense, but a lot of people on them because Giannis was out. And listen, no one would ever claim that the Bucks are better. Giannis out, but I think people are forgetting that Dame Lillard has done this in the playoffs for his whole career. Like he's been a different player in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Paul George's playoff P, like that's hilarious when you think about like Dame Lillard has always been.
Dude, he goes crazy in the playoffs.
Yeah. Rises to the moment.
35 at half. That's what he ended up with. 6 threes at half. Also what he ended up with. And also, you know me, I'm a big fan of history. And I know some people are on the Pacers. I've seen it too. It's like, guys, they don't have a history, man. And that might not matter, but to me it does. Right? You've made one NBA Finals way back 99, 2000.
I don't even necessarily know, like, the history of it all, like the history in total really doesn't matter to me as much as like the recent history as well. It's like I just think that you have to start somewhere. Like the Knicks last year, it's different. The NBA, Major League Baseball, it's so different from the NFL, which I talk about all the time, Super Bowl or bust league. But then there's also, the gaining confidence in maybe your quarterback or getting that playoff experience. But like the Knicks last year, they made it to the second round. And the Knicks, I said it last year, I was like, if they somehow got through the Heat, because remember that draw that the Heat were the 8th seed and they got through, I was like, the Knicks get through to the Eastern Conference Finals because they get to play an 8th seed. It's the biggest win in history. Now they didn't. Obviously, they lose to the Heat, who go on to the NBA Finals. But it's like now we're building something, and you can see that. Now the Knicks are the 2 seed this year. Now the standard has changed. Even without Julius Randle, getting to the second round, even facing a Bucks team, it's not enough. It's not enough. But for the Pacers, the idea that you're just going to like this Pacers team, like sort of out of nowhere, kind of onto the thing, like we're just going to pencil you past the Bucks. A lot of people were doing that. And also it was very weird because Barkley loved this Pacers team. And like, meanwhile, Barkley, like pick any random team and just say, have Barkley, oh, they don't play enough defense. So randomly ignoring that. Listen, I don't think this series is over at one game just because they lost with Giannis out. I think it has a good chance of being a great series. But this is, again, this is what it feels like. There's a lot of like this weird, and I said it about the Lakers. I was like, everybody's like kind of on the Lakers. Like, I'm a LeBron stan. I'm not on the fucking Lakers. It's weird, the people that have just like the teams that people have decided to like popularly rally around.
Well, that's probably a lot of social media talk.
Right.
And it's like anything, it just gains traction.
Somebody said to me the other day, they were like, oh, what do you think of my picks and whatever? And they had the Heat upsetting the Celtics the first round. I was like, it's ludicrous.
That's without Jimmy Butler.
Oh, I get it. Like the zombie Heat, and they're so, and every postseason they come, it's like, guys,
dude, come on. Without Jimmy Butler is the Heat.
With Jimmy Butler, like the Celtics are the fucking class of the East this year.
That's gonna be a sweep, man. Tyler Hero's not showing up. Come on, like enough. Come on. Get out of here. I don't even think there's much to say about that series, to be honest. Were you surprised about the Clippers blowout of the Mavs?
Without Kawhi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I thought that was, listen, I said that before when we were sort of previewing this. I was like, oh, I think the Mavs win that series. Also, it's a 4 or 5. I could see it going either way, but like the idea, and I think I said, would you be shocked if the Mavs won and then won a potential second round series against like an OKC Thunder that gets through? I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked. I thought for sure, especially the way the NBA goes, maybe not shocked that the Mavs lost that game, but that the Clippers dominated it from start to finish.
Do you think Doncic has any shot at MVP?
I think he has a shot at it. Yeah. I don't think he's going to win it.
You think it goes to Jokic again?
I think it does. But it is the NBA. So like last year, I said we got to a point during the regular season last year where I was like, oh, it's Jokic's. Like now it's his. And I was completely wrong. I went to Embiid. So yeah, I mean, I think there is that that, tired of voting for the same guy factor. But like Jokic didn't win last year, so some of those guys should be back around, right?
Yeah, for sure. By the way, I got a little live show update. Just got confirmed. We're gonna have hockey correspondent Ryan Klatt on.
Woo! Good, because he messaged me. He DM'd me. He's like, I heard we're off for tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, sorry, dude. Busy day tomorrow. We got to do the show tonight, which I guess spurned him, trying to figure out his schedule. But he's like, it's too bad. I really wanted to mush your Rangers in person. And I'm like, why are we mushing the Rangers? Or maybe he's mushing them. Maybe he's mushing them by picking them, because last year his picks were a disaster. Come playoff time, remember that,
bro?
By the way, Andy, we got to talk about this because somebody messaged me. Shout out to Kyle Aronofsky. I was going to say somebody, but then I was like, oh yeah, it was Kyle. Kyle messaged me this weekend. He's like, Ruther curse, unreal. I was like, what now? And he was like, the guy who lit himself on fire outside the Trump thing put his manifesto on Substack. I was like, that's amazing. I was like, I don't know if that's a Ruther curse though. I was like,
wait, what? You all stretching this now? What?
I mean, first of all, not like there's definitely a lot of people who just found out about Substack for the first time because the guy who lit himself on fire outside the Trump trial put his manifesto on Substack.
So a guy lit himself on fire. I saw that. I didn't follow up.
Did you see the video?
No.
It's crazy.
Is he pro-Trump or anti-Trump?
It's honestly, he's neither. It's the lamest, like 19-year-old who just smoked weed for the first time manifesto. It's Aaron Rodgers' manifesto. He's like, Democrats and Republicans are the same people. Yeah, no shit, motherfucker. Oh, the Simpsons writers went to Harvard. We know, dude. Like, the military-industrial complex is in charge of everything. Uh-huh.
Did he really bring up the Simpsons?
Yeah.
The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Why the Simpsons?
One of his things was like all the things like the media and like movies and TV, they're all desensitizing you to like all the things like, oh, they show you this thing, like they want you to see this. They want you to see this, like this world where this happens. Of course, they want to normalize that this is a fucking thing. It's the most like 22-year-old guy on his first mushroom trip vibe ever. It's literally Aaron Rodgers takes mushrooms one time and realizes Big Pharma like lobbies the government. Like you're like, yeah, dude. Were you unaware of that before you went on a fucking ayahuasca trip?
Is he dead?
No, he somehow survived. He was like, Clinton is friends with Bush, and Bush is friends with Hillary, and Hillary's friends with Trump. It's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I have the internet.
Fucking, I know, exactly.
Bro, I knew all this. I have Google.
Yeah.
So not only did he not kill himself, take an L there,
but his manifesto reads like the fucking, the frat house basement when some guy gets some acid for the first time. Hey, man. I think the government might be starting wars to make money, man. Bro, I think we're in the Middle East over oil, dude. I don't think JFK was killed by a lone gunman. Yeah, I know.
Max Azzarello?
Tough look for us Italians.
I was going to say.
That's Italian.
L for the Italians here.
Yeah. Motherfucker wood fire pizza right there.
This is an interesting looking dude. Well, I don't know why I have anything to do with this in Substack, guys.
Well, I said this. I think it's the reverse. I was like, a lot of people just learned about Substack yesterday when they were reading this dude's manifesto, and then they were like, "What's Substack? What is this dirty sports? Maybe we should subscribe." It'd be great if we get guys that's like also subscribe to the Max Anatello fucking podcast.
His podcast would be more interesting than some of these NBA guys. I'll tell you that much. At least he's doing something.
His podcast, like him and Kyrie could have a podcast where they're just like, I know, right, dude?
So I know we got off for a second. Ryan will be coming on in like the next 25 to 30 minutes.
Great.
Which is great because I can't wait to talk to him. I have no clue what's going on. No clue what's going on in the NHL. Also,
all I know is this, Andy. 30 years since OJ. 30 years since the Rangers won the Stanley Cup in 1994. 30 years since the Knicks went to the NBA Finals in 1994. OJ's dead. Yesterday, Knicks win at the Garden. Today, Rangers win at the Garden. New York City is New York. This is like it's one of those summers for New York sports, you know. Mets are suddenly they've won every series since they went into fucking Cincinnati. Your boys got us started. They're 0-5. They got one win in Detroit, and then suddenly they go into Cincinnati, they win. Go into Kansas City, they win. Atlanta, Pittsburgh. They just won the series out here in LA against the Dodgers. Yankees are in first place. Juan Soto's hopefully doesn't have a translator because he's going to best be rich.
So Ryan will come on to discuss the Rangers. And also
all the other hockey.
Well, I just want to hear about this whole thing with
Phoenix.
Phoenix. I mean, again, guy who knows nothing. I'm like, wait. They were playing at Arizona State's 4,000 seat arena this past season?
I feel like maybe I know you were like, nah, man, they haven't fucking I thought that was like a big deal when they moved there. I thought they were like, they had this like crazy devoted fan base.
I don't think that's true.
No, I know. Apparently it's not, or they wouldn't have left, but I thought they did. I thought they had I thought the Coyotes had this like crazy fan base.
Well, I did see something. Hockey did. I saw, and actually this can kind of segue into the NBA stuff with their attendance. I think 12 of the teams sold out every game. Did I just make that up? Maybe. I could have sworn I saw that.
No, that could be possible.
But then I saw a list of the teams that, LA is a very rabid fan base. The Kings, they support them very well.
Yeah.
Oh, you know why I was looking at that? Because I was looking at the headline, and of course I read the article. NBA set regular season attendance records. So, the average was about a little over 18,000. There were 873 sellouts, 82 more than last season. 71% of games sold out. Oh, I'm incorrect. It was the NBA. That's where I read it. But maybe hockey too. 12 teams sold out all their home games. I was shocked at some of these teams though. Like the Heat. It was Celtics, Cavs, Mavs, Nuggets, Warriors, Heat, Bucks, T-Wolves, Sixers, Suns, Kings, and Jazz.
Wow.
Yeah, so that shows that I mean the league is fine. And then I also saw maybe I didn't put this down.
The league is fine. I think they're pretty sure they're going broke, Andy. That's what I've heard.
They're not going broke, and also
they're not going broke.
Oh, this is an interesting thing. I kind of find this stuff kind of interesting.
I was thinking about having a Bud Light while I watched the NBA playoffs this year because I figured last chance for either of them.
Oh, Bud Light's back, man. They're with the UFC now. Shane Gillis. Hard pivot there. This is where I saw it.
Not really hard pivot because these companies target absolutely every fucking market all the time, right?
No, that's a hard pivot.
Okay.
I'm saying for where they had gone, that's going the complete opposite way. I'm fascinated in marketing stuff. Like, obviously, I do that stuff too, but it's like it's fascinating to me. But that's a whole other discussion. I don't want to nerd people out. Like,
right. But I
my,
mean, as somebody who works in marketing, I mean, I got to assume that like the idea is like we want everybody to buy our shit.
You would think. You would hope. That's what I always say.
Right. I mean, I think that not to get all fucking side bent, but I mean, I think that's when these things like go wrong, it's because a lot of these marketing teams are like, they're not like saying like, fuck these people. They're just like, also, we should target this. We should try to make this about these people. And the other side goes like, fuck you. And you're like, hey, man, where's like, it's still like, it's still up in the fucking corner of your football game. Like, we have not abandoned you. We're just trying to like also get other markets.
I think they go wrong when this is my take on marketing stuff, is that when you try to target especially nowadays, because everybody's so sensitive, when you try to target specific audiences,
right?
Like I always say, you know who actually, and you're not gonna believe I'm gonna say this, because as much as I knock them, as much as like I knock baseball and having special, like they have a special night for every group,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So if I go to a Reds game, they're going to have first responders night. They're going to have pride night. They're going to have Latino night. They're going to have so you can't get mad because I would say, well, they're doing everybody.
But Andy, and again, I know, like, not that I'm on Reddit, but like, let's fire up the woke Prano Reddit thread. But like, when they do first responders night, or when they do like military appreciation night, it just comes and goes and no one says anything about it. And then when it's LGBTQ night, it's like, you're going to have nuns that are dressed in drag at the Dodger game. And it's like, yeah, dude, we also just had like a night where everybody got like a plastic military rifle and we fucking saluted. They had like fucking soldiers all over the field. Like, what are you talking about? It's literally there's 81 baseball games a year. We do Latin night. We do fucking Pride night. We do every night. It's the one, but it's with those things that fucking trigger people. And then it's like, you're disrespecting us.
No, I get that. But that's my point, is that if I'm running a business, you either, this is just my take, I would either target them all like that or none. Right? That's just my opinion. Like when it comes to, if I'm, because I agree, I'd want everybody coming to my business.
That's the point. I mean, I think that's the point of a lot of these marketing decisions, is when they target these random groups that trigger people. It's like Bud Light's like, we don't have to do another commercial that says like it's for frat guys. Like, I think we've got that market covered. Like, we don't need that. Where we need to focus our marketing is on this and on this and on this.
But I would counter, like, in some of these instances, like a Bud Light, you know your bread and butter, so to speak, if that makes sense, right? So it's like
this is happening. By the way, I don't know if you saw this. I hate to cut you off, but like at the Masters, okay, there's these sort of streetwear golf brands, right? Golf has popped in the last 5 years, especially COVID. A lot of young people started golfing. It was like, get outside. So these like golf brands like Malban and like Bogey Boys and all these things. And it's like young, hip, like streetwear style, fucking whatever. So golf is trying to target a younger audience. And so they're like, dude, we don't really have a marketing problem with 50 to 70-year-old white men. Like, we don't need to target, we don't need to make golf accessible to guys who are in like rocking chairs. Like, we're good. So then like these streetwear brands got in with some of these golfers and some of the guys at the Masters wearing it, and people are losing their fucking. This is a disgrace to the sport. They all look like freaking clowns, and you're like, you're just old man screams at clouds. Like it's just them being like, we are trying to make clothes that we can sell to young people who just suddenly started playing golf because like 25-year-old dudes who started golfing during the pandemic don't want to wear fucking old ass fucking khaki pants with a crease down the middle.
But there, like, I don't know this instance in particular, but I guess I would ask, there always is fear that you lose your base. That's what I was trying to say.
But why? By targeting somebody else.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, Bud Light should have lost that as a brand. But you couldn't get it. I mean, it was wild to see. Like,
I agree with what you're saying, but my point is, there's only one side of the factor that goes like, oh fuck, like the 25-year-old golfer isn't like, it's fuck the old, like no one gives a shit that like no one gives a shit on when they watch football on Sunday. Like when they watch football on Sunday, no one's like, all these fucking like gas guzzling Ford truck commercials. They're just like, that's just football, man. They're gonna target the fucking truck gang.
Sure.
Right? It's only when those people see something that isn't normal to them do they fucking freak out. Is my point. It's and that can go both ways. It's just a matter of old versus new. It's always the new thing that upsets people. It's always the new thing. Dude, I remember, you remember it when Michael Jordan put out fucking the patent leather Jordans? People were like, what the fuck is this? They're like pissed about that. That was like Jordan brand back in the day. It's embarrassing. This is like, it's so fucking, it's like making a mockery, like all that shit. Or like anybody's hair, or like the Fab Five and they're like their baggy shorts, like all of that shit, whatever it is. But like no one, the other, then when like the short shorts came back, people were like, the fucking short shorts. Like, pick a fucking lane, dude.
I like how we got here. I do want to say one more thing. We were talking about the NBA. That's how we got here. The most viewed people, which in the NBA, most viewed players online, like with all the platforms, LeBron, Steph Curry, Wembanyama, and Luka. Those were the most viewed people.
In terms of their socials?
Yeah, as far as like what people are watching, like highlights of them, let's say on Twitter, or Instagram, or YouTube. Those guys alone had over 1 billion views. Like a highlight of Steph draining threes or LeBron doing some sweet pass or whatever it was.
Right.
Because the NBA is really tapped into social media very well, which makes sense. It's a global sport, right?
Yeah. Right.
So, of course, I hopped in the comments underneath this story, but The Athletic, for the most part, I feel the readers because they're paying for it. I feel like they have a pretty good head on their shoulders.
Right.
But I was interesting.
Like you don't buy a subscription to The Atlantic to be a faceless troll.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we talked about with Substack.
Yeah, 100%. It is. But like, and that's what a lot of people were saying. They're like, this is interesting for all. They were kind of mocking I thought the league was dying, and a lot of people were saying that same thing, saying it's a global game, man. So like the NBA is like, hey, I got this kid in Africa or Eastern Europe or wherever glued to YouTube. It's helping my game.
Well, listen again, and that's it's a remarkably dumb take to base the popularity of any given sport by American Nielsen ratings. Like by that measure, soccer is the deadest sport in the fucking world.
Sure.
Right? If you ran a fucking shitty pretend sports site, you'd be like, good luck fucking having an MLS 5 years from now. It's like, dude, soccer is massive. It's the biggest sport in the world. Like, it's very ridiculous to be like, no one fucking cares. Like, they do. And that and that's the truth. The truth is the NFL, while the most popular sport in the United States, is probably the least popular sport globally of all the major sports. Like,
I really don't think it's a question.
I don't know how hot. I mean, I know hockey's like obviously big in like Eastern Europe and whatever, but like globally.
Oh, I'm between baseball, basketball, and football. It's got to be football.
Yeah,
there's a reason.
And soccer.
Now. Yeah. Well, there's a reason. There's a reason they're making such a push for these games in Germany and England, and now they're going to Spain and Brazil, and now they have the whole thing. You know, the guy who joined the practice squad, the rugby guy from Wales, like the stud rugby player. It's like they're trying to bring in guys to make football more global for that very reason that they're lacking.
And also, when you talk about like TV things, like the TV deals, like ESPN is a global sports network. Like TNT, I'm sure airs in certain countries or whatever, but I'm sure it's a very like much an American thing. Like, but I'm certain there's ESPN other places. You know what I mean? So like it's owned by fucking Disney. There's a Disney Europe. Like there's a Euro Disney. Like,
and I'll be honest, would love to have access to those announcers 24/7. Like the Prigioni guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be watching the American announcers. I want to be watching the South Korean announcers calling a game. Those are the best. We haven't played one of those in a while.
No, we haven't.
Dirtballs love that.
I love that too. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite things. That should be something we start putting up on the Substack is International Sports Call of the Week.
Yeah. It's probably easy to get.
Yeah.
Just look it up, right?
And also the thing to look up a big moment in sports and then search some other country. Josh Hart 3 Mexican announcer. Hart! Corazón! Mi amor!
All right, this is from Mike Breen. I just put in Josh Hart 3 out of curiosity. This is from Mike Breen. No, that's what I'm saying. We don't want Mike Breen, guys.
Oh, I mean, and then also, I mean, the Gus Johnson one was pretty good, by the way. Which, by the way, you missed it yesterday, Andy. But to start the game, I was going back. I was like, do I go with? Because I'm sure you know this, but the Knicks home announcing crew is Breen and Clyde.
Sure.
Breen is over on fucking ESPN with JJ and Doris. Clyde is over on the MSG. And I was like, well, who are they pairing with Clyde? They paired Gus Johnson with them.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically the black broadcast, which was great. And I was watching it, but then I switched over because I was like, well, first of all, the game was going poorly. So I tried to mix up the juju. But also I was like, I guess it's probably best to watch the one that the Dirtballs are watching as they watch me watch.
We like to do overrated, underrated. Gus Johnson, highly underrated.
Yeah.
I think there's some people who don't like him for whatever reason. Terrible reasons, in my opinion. But I think he's just underrated career-wise.
Yeah.
Dick Vitale is basically a wannabe Gus Johnson.
Yeah. Although he might have predated him.
He probably did, but my point is, Dick Vitale, how am I trying to word this? It's like
Dick Vitale was a caricature of the excited basketball announcer, whereas Gus Johnson is an actual excited basketball announcer.
Yeah.
Excited sports announcer. His was always like shticky.
Dick Vitale is
he's a PTP, baby.
Yeah. It's corny, it's hack.
Yeah.
But Dick Vitale is, or no.
He's a little baby. How does he dunk in those diapers, baby?
Gus Johnson, this is what I want to say. This is how I can phrase it the best. Gus Johnson is who Dick Vitale fans think Dick Vitale is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of how I would word it. Highly underrated. I need more of him. I'm glad he was calling the game.
Yeah.
Because he's been around for a minute now.
Put Gus Johnson, Josh Hart call. It's pretty great.
I wonder who some of the good let me see if Ryan can fill us in on that. Some of the good like hockey.
Oh, there's for sure.
Right? That's what I'm thinking. There's got to be some really good ones. Then you got the foreign announcers.
Yeah.
Right? Like a Russian announcer.
Niet. Niet. Just every time the goalie makes a save. Niet.
What does that mean?
No. And I think it's spelled Hyet. Niet.
You imagine trying to learn Russian?
No. Niet.
That's a tough language. Definitely not underrated trying to learn Russian. I'm trying to debate if we want to hop into a couple calls. He said between.
Well, Andy, did you watch? Let me ask you something. So you had, did you get any Suns Timberwolves yesterday?
I didn't really get into that, to be honest.
Okay. That's all right. A pretty
fill me in. Obviously,
pretty impressive Timberwolves performance to start. Now, I got to say, I thought that would be, again, another one where I was like, listen, the NBA zigzag theory off to a devastating start. All these home teams just fucking smoke showing, like just absolutely blowing the fuck out of other teams. So the NBA zigzag series off to a devastating start. But Timberwolves come out yesterday in the mid 90s throwbacks. And I was like, yep, Suns are done for. It's going to be too much excitement in the building. Great Anthony Edwards performance. Great. I mean, just like kind of like kick their ass. A lot of shit talk happening. I still think that's going to be a good series because I think we're going to get some good, we'll get a good Kevin Durant performance. We'll get a good Devin Booker performance. We'll get Suns arena. I guess they don't support hockey there, but generally considered a pretty wild place to play. But really,
the mascot's like a gorilla dunking.
Yeah, really impressive. I mean, we have a couple of impressive performances just right out of the gate. The Magic didn't really show up against the Cavs, but like home teams, Knicks win, Cavs win, Timberwolves win, Nuggets win. Celtics win, Clippers win, Bucks win. We haven't had an away team win yet. I mean, you look at it. I don't think we had an away team fucking cover. There's just no way. I don't think we had an away team cover. Devastating NBA zigzag theory.
Well, if you're hurting for money, you should become a mascot. Have you seen some of the salaries of these guys?
No. What's the Phoenix Sun gorilla make?
You know why I saw this? They were comparing what Caitlin Clark's going to make versus
the NBA mascots.
Bro.
Is Caitlin Clark going to make less than certain NBA mascots?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Oh, Jesus.
The gorilla makes,
obviously not included. She's going to have a $38 million Nike deal, but still, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's making millions in endorsements. The gorilla for Phoenix makes $200,000 a year.
That's dope.
I mean, he's also slam dunking dressed as a gorilla. Deserves every penny of it, in my opinion.
I mean, he's also going off a trampoline. It's not like he's slam dunking.
The highest paid mascot is Rocky the Mountain Lion for the Nugs. $625 a season.
What?
A year. Yeah. I think he's
because he's doing it all at elevation. Did he win a lawsuit because he passed out from fucking altitude sickness? $625 a year. I really should have done gymnastics as a kid.
Right under that is, I didn't even know this guy existed. I didn't know his name. Harry the Hawk for the Atlanta Hawks, $600K a year.
Harry the Hawk.
Yeah. Benny the Bull is making $400K a year. I just want to know why he's making $625. That's a lot of fucking money.
And just for basketball, it's not like he's the crossover mascot.
Yeah, and rounding out the top 5 is Hugo the Hornet.
Oh, I always liked the Hugo the Hornet because it's like a guy just in the Lycra suit.
Oh, we got some confirmation from a Nuggets fan here, from Corbin. As a Nuggets fan, Rocky the Mountain Lion is crazy and puts on great shows. $625,000 worth of great shows?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I'm just wondering because I said it, but I'm not sure it's necessarily true. Is there any chance that the Mountain Lion is also the Avs mascot?
No. I mean, you realize how much, like $625,000 to be a mascot?
Maybe he can dunk and skate. That would be impressive. They got a gymnast who could also, maybe he's a figure skater.
I mean, what kind of, like, I just want to know, like, he's crazy and puts on great shows. Like, is he a stand-up comic? Like, what?
Is he stripping?
What is that Mountain Lion doing?
Fucking put out crazy and put on great shows too. They don't make $625,000 a year. They're also sucking dicks.
I feel like this is like a movie. This is like a plot line or something.
I need Gus Johnson calling Rocky's halftime shows.
The Avs have a different mascot. They have a ski dog.
Wow, a ski dog? What does that even mean?
I don't know.
A dog on cocaine?
I have no clue.
A ski dog?
I don't know.
Not a sled dog, a ski dog.
Look, this is in the comment section. There's no verification. I have not looked it up.
They have a ski dog.
A ski dog.
Ski dog sounds like the nickname of one of your frat brothers.
What's
up, ski dogs here?
Dude,
ski dog.
Ski dog. So wasted last night.
Dude, you guys see Ski Dog last night? The fucking at Denny's at 4 a.m. He was behind the counter flipping fucking pancakes. Ski Dog's out of his mind, dude.
Rubbed his balls on the grill and said, "Here's my grand."
And then somebody always comes in with like a Ski Dog story that kills it. They're like, dude, Ski Dog raped a chick last week. Whoa. No, dude, I saw it.
Dude, Ski Dog fingered my sister. Isn't she 12? I know, man. Ski Dog's crazy.
Ski Dog doesn't give a fuck. I think his like parents are French or something. He doesn't care about fucking how old kids are. Fucking Ski Dog, dude.
That's what I want to see paid $650. A drunken frat guy being the mascot.
Ski Dog. Just doing shot skis.
Just doing lines of blow and then jumping on a trampoline, missing the hoop and trying to dunk.
Dude, Ski Dog fucking fingered my sister last week. The fucking Avs mascot? Fuck, dude. Is your sister a furry dog?
Well, see, we got Ryan here.
Let's go.
Like this is long overdue.
His first appearance, we waited all the way until the playoffs. His first 2023-2024 hockey appearance. Oh, there he is. I should have worn my matching. I have the exact same black Jays hat.
We should have choreographed
coordinated.
Oh, well, this isn't my first appearance though, Joe. I was on in December.
Oh, so. Well, there you go. What do I?
Sorry, wait, you were on in December?
See?
Yeah.
Even Andy doesn't remember.
Am I not memorable or what?
No, I'm just
we do a lot of shows.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all
Ryan,
good.
I'm just now
happy to be here on the new platform. This is exciting.
We're happy to have you, man.
Yeah.
What did we talk about in December? Try to refresh my memory.
We talked about like the Corey Perry thing with him, like
Oh yeah,
possibly
that's right.
banging Connor Bedard's mom.
Right.
Oh
Totally.
yeah,
So,
now
we remember. Yeah.
By the way, I like these night podcasts because usually I have a sun right here, and I don't when it gets dark. Now it just looks like I'm in the Kenny Rogers roaster Seinfeld episode. Looks like I'm under the chicken heat lamp.
You know, real quick before we talk to Ryan, that Miller Lite sign, I initially was going to put it in this podcast room, and I was like, "Fuck that, man!"
And it just like blows it out,
dude. It lights up. I put it above my little Miss Pac-Man arcade, and I'll play Papa Shot with no other lights on. Like it can light up my basement, bro.
Yeah,
thing is intense. And meanwhile we got Ryan calling from like a fucking some.
I'm in the dungeon here,
yeah,
boys.
You've been abducted by a terrorist. My man's
first and most important question: the Maple Leafs, not leaves. Mascot is who?
Well, he's a polar bear. I think it's like Carlton the bear or something.
Carlton the bear. It's not unusual to be.
I could be totally wrong on his name, but he's definitely a polar bear. Don't ask me why they landed on polar bear for the Leafs, but you know, better than like a giant maple leaf walking around, I guess.
I don't know. I felt like a maple leaf could be cool. It could be a little fun.
Well, now that we're already talking about that, Toronto lost, right?
Oh, it was ugly, boys. Yeah, I can do a little piece on my Maple Leafs right now because
the Leafs are in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, they're in the they make the playoffs every year. This is like Matthews and Marner. This is their 8th year with their team. They've made the playoffs every year, but you know they've one second round appearance to show for it. So
that was last year.
That was last year. Yeah, correct. Right. They finally got over the hump, but then got just embarrassed in the second round. But like the thing with this team, like they're so fun to watch in the regular season. They put on such a good show, but you come to a point as a fan where it's like you just know deep down that this core just isn't going to get it done. And it's painful because I went through some fucking shitty years with the Leafs. Like, they had some high draft picks to be able to build this team that they've got. And, as a franchise, you need some luck, you need some good drafting to be able to turn it around. And then when you finally do, and now it's like, well, fuck, we're going to have to do it all over again. So I know it's one game in, I'm already in this mindset, but I just can't see them. It's going to go 7 games. But
who are you guys playing?
The Boston Bruins.
Okay.
Who always have our number. So now they've played them 5 games this year, and they've won every single game. The Bruins.
And correct me if I'm wrong, hockey seating's a little weird. It's not like 1-8.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb, for lack of a better term. I can rip through it quick if you need a quick breakdown of it, but yeah, it's kind of so you have your
3 division winners.
There's 2 divisions per conference only.
Got it.
So you got your 2 division winners, and then you got second place in the division plays third place in the division, and then the 2 division winners play a wild card team.
Got it. So
you get a lot of the same matchups year after year with the 2 playing the 3. And if you have like the 3 best teams in the same division, then, you're going to have like lots of good teams are going to get eliminated in the first round. That's what happens, every year with this format. A lot of people don't like it, including myself. But
and so your Leafs are a wild card team?
They're third. They finished 3rd in their division, and the Bruins finished 2nd. So that's the matchup there. And
got it.
Yeah. But
so are you feeling any more confident this year? Because let's be honest, you went full Ruther just implosion mode last year on all your picks, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. It was so bad. Hey, boys. Like, it was actually like embarrassing.
But, I was saying before, I don't know if you were tuned in earlier, but I was saying before you had messaged me and you've been like, I want to mush. Or I'm going to mush your Rangers. And then I was like, oh, he's hating. And then I was like, oh, wait, maybe he's picking them to win the whole goddamn thing. And he's going to mush them with his terrible picks.
Well, I don't know about the whole goddamn thing. But yeah, to get into my picks, yeah, the Rangers, they have basically a bye this round. Like they have they're facing the Capitals, who are like maybe like one of the worst teams to make the playoffs in recent memory.
They still have Ovechkin.
They still have Ovechkin, and like to quickly do a little housekeeping on the regular season, like Ovechkin is like he's closing in on Gretzky's goal record.
Wow!
So that was a big storyline through the year. He had a super slow start to the year, and then he caught fire at the end of the year and helped.
And he's closing in on the all-time goals record.
Correct. Yeah, he's like so Gretzky's at 894, and I think Ovechkin's at like 854. So he's like 40 away.
And so he'll play long enough to break that record.
He'll play at least 2 more years, and I think that's what it's going to be to break it. He could break it next year, but
theoretically, yeah.
This year we've started to see him slow down a bit finally. So I think it's going to happen not next year, but the year after, the all-time. So he's whether
is the famous Gretzky statistic, does it still hold true? Is the Gretzky statistic you would hear forever? If he never scored a goal, he'd still be the fucking all-time leader in points. Would that still be a true statement?
Yeah, that's correct. He has more assists than anybody has points, which is bonkers. But whether Ovechkin breaks this record or not, he is the greatest goal scorer of all time. Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer of all time. Just to do it in the era that he did it in. I mean, Gretzky would just fucking, he could shoot from the blue line, low blocker, and it would go in every time on those goalies. Like they were.
It's the goalkeeping that's better.
The goalkeeping, and like if you look at Gretzky highlights, like you'd see a lot of him just carrying the puck into the zone. He'd fake a slap shot, and the defenseman would go down like a fucking an old lady in a Life Alert commercial, like every single time, and then he'd just go around him and score. So I don't know. Just the era that Gretzky played in was extremely explosive offensively, and goaltending for whatever reason just couldn't keep up with it. But technique was a big reason, and the equipment. So it's come a long way.
We done with the 90s is what you're saying.
We're done with the 90s. We're done with the 80s. I think it's generally accepted that Gretzky had a much easier time. Like his numbers are still fucking insane. Don't get me wrong, and I think there's no problem calling him the GOAT because his points record's never going to be touched, but his goals record is going to be broken. It's going to be Ovechkin.
What are the other major playoff storylines that we got to look at? Before Andy and I are both very interested in the Phoenix hockey story, but I want to know about the play. What to watch in the playoffs so far, or going forward, because I guess they just started like yesterday.
Yesterday, it was the first day. Yeah, I guess we can get to Phoenix maybe later. But yeah, the big storylines. I mean, you got Battle of Florida going on, Tampa, Florida. That's going to be a really good series that could go either way. I'm picking Florida, so congrats to Tampa for moving on. And what else? I mean, your Rangers, we kind of touched on. They won the President's Trophy, so there's a bit of a President's Trophy curse, I'm sorry to say, with that. Right. I think only 2 teams in the last 30 years who've won the President's Trophy have won the cup, so they'll have that to contend with. In the West, I mean, the Oilers had this fucking insanely bad start to the year, and then they fired their coach. There's their ongoing theme for you, the hockey coach getting fired, and then they hired Sasky boy Chris Knobloch so I'll give him a shout out, Imperial, Saskatchewan native, same hometown as Coyotes goaltender Connor Ingram.
Okay.
Played against his older brother a little bit, so not a big deal there. Some credibility. And then after they hired him, they went on this crazy run and have been one of the best teams in the league since December. And they signed Corey Perry, the MILF hunter. So we brought him in the mix. So so they're a big story in the West with McDavid and all that, chasing his first cup still.
So where's Vegas? Where are the Golden Knights?
Vegas, they actually wound up being the second wild card team in the West. So out of all the teams to make it in the West, they had the worst record. Even though they did a bit of Paul Bissonnette calls it cap circumcision. They do this every year. They put one of their players on long-term injured reserve, and then that doesn't count towards the cap. And then they can load up at the trade deadline, and then come playoffs, so you can activate those players and be over the cap and still be compliant. It's like a loophole.
You can activate the players who are on long-term injured reserve.
Correct. So this is the third straight year that they put their captain, Mark Stone, on LTIR. And then game one of the playoffs, he's magically healthy. So then they activate him. And then, Tampa did the same thing a couple of years ago too and won the cup because they were like way over the cap.
How do you think these guys feel about that?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, right? Like it's like you're gambling, right? You're taking the risk. I'm shelving one of my best players who makes a lot of money to like load up at the deadline.
And the deadlines, I assume, similar to February or something like that.
Yeah, it's like end of February, beginning of March every year. So you got to go through that last stretch of the year. So when Tampa did it, people were like, well, they're not going to. They did it with Kucherov. They sat him basically like a good chunk of the year and then activated him game one. And he was ready to go game one and he led the playoffs in scoring. So people were like, well, what the fuck's going on here, right? But I mean, it's a loophole. It's there, so they're not breaking any rules. It's just they're taking advantage of something that hasn't been addressed in the CBA yet, I guess. So, anyways, what was I saying about Vegas? So they loaded up at the trade deadline. They looked like they were going to be this wagon, and they kind of struggled down the stretch. So they've got a really tough first round matchup against the Dallas Stars, who quietly had the best record in the West.
But Vegas is the defending champ, correct?
They are, yeah.
Look at me.
You're just lobbing me these softball questions.
Okay. No, Ruther's just confirming.
Yeah, no, I'm actually confirming. You want hard questions. We talk trains, bro. We can talk trains. If you want the hard questions.
Train. That's why I was in that's why I wasn't sure I could come on tonight.
You just got off a train?
Literally just like an hour ago, and I just got home and like put my daughter to bed and hopped on. So. Yeah.
Things that you don't mind your hockey correspondent saying that you never want to hear your daughter saying. Just got home from a train.
Can we take a moment too to appreciate like Dirty Sports? We're gonna talk some NBA. We're gonna bring on, this noted NBA journalist who used to cover the Warriors, and now for hockey we got train conductor from Saskatchewan.
Oh, dude, come on! Don't sell yourself short. Not only are you a train conductor, you're a Sasky boy. Which, by the way, we need a bar named Sasky Boys.
Yeah.
Can we make that happen,
bro? Ski Dog was at Sasky Boys last night. Fuck, you should have seen this dude. Ski Dog was going fucking crazy at Sasky Boys last night. He fucked a chick in the bathroom. I think she was 11.
Bro, I think Ski Dog ran a train on a girl in a train, man. Yeah. It was crazy. Him and Jay Like. Jay Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Are we talking about the abs?
Yeah. Yeah, mascot.
So how long,
just a degenerate.
How long were you on the train tonight? I gotta ask.
Oh, it's just a quick little 4-hour shift. So when I found out it was gonna be tonight, I was like, oh, maybe if I got a quick shift in me today, I can still make it on tonight. So it wound up being.
Like, did you just go home and were you covered in soot when you got home? Did you have to shower? I know you're shoveling coal and all that.
You just got home and he rubbed his eyes so that he's a raccoon. The rest of his face was black.
I want to see you in a train conductor outfit next time you come on the show, man.
You know what I wore to work today, Addy? Literally this. This is what I wore.
Hold on, this is crazy. You wore that to work?
Yeah.
You don't wear overalls and shit,
cars
man?
Around. What's
He's not an NBA mascot. He doesn't have to put on a fucking horse head to go to.
No, man, you got to dress like an old school train conductor. I think you should start doing that.
Well, in the wintertime, I wear I put on the Carhartts coveralls and fucking get all geared up. But it's starting to get nice. So you just go out in your hoodie and I got.
Well, I love that Andy's talking about this too. Like when he goes to fucking work, he's dressing like an old timey marketing exec in a fucking double breasted blazer. And I say, hey, we gotta get Gold Star into the trans community there. See, it's an untapped market.
By the way,
they love 5 ways.
Side note, we got to talk about my wardrobe and how pathetic it is at this point. It's always been pathetic, but I mean, I realize
just dad closing 24/7 now. You're just constantly in sweats and a hoodie.
It's just nonstop, and it's
we lost fucking.
That's what I realized.
Flag and Anthem.
We lost Flag and Anthem 5 years ago, man.
Yeah.
And I still
hasn't bought a new thing since.
I didn't buy it
until you bought this Nautica sweatshirt yesterday.
What's that?
Until you bought your new Nautica sweatshirt.
Oh, and you didn't buy any other stuff?
No. No.
No, it's all right. Well,
Sorry about that.
hey, we don't take it personally. So, who are you predicting to make it to the final, and who's your champ?
Okay, so yeah, apologies to fans of these teams. So before the season, I know this isn't on record on here anywhere, but
No,
you'll
that's
just have
okay.
to
You're a trustworthy guy.
yeah, take my word for it. Before the season started, I predicted the Oilers versus the Hurricanes in the final, which would be a nice little 2006 rematch. That was a great series with the Oilers winning. I really want McDavid to win his first cup, so it was more of an emotional pick than anything else. But I think
By the way, Oilers versus Hurricanes happened just offshore during Katrina.
I knew you were going to work in something.
That's A. Millie's fucking October every year. He's like, I hope it's not a fucking.
Yeah. I love the South Park bit with that too, where he's just like, "We're sorry." The CEO of fucking whatever company it was is posting an apology video. Anyway, so yeah, that was my cup pick before the season. I guess I'll just roll with it now. The landscape obviously is a bit different now. I think like Dallas is like really sneaky good. Not a lot of people talking about them. And then you got like Colorado is playing Winnipeg. I think that series is going to be. I just looked. Game 1 was 7-6 for the Jets. I think that's a really good team is going down in the first round with that series. So that's a good one to watch.
Do you have it's still been a while since a Canadian team won the cup, right?
Since the year I was born, 1993.
Wow. So what I mean, obviously you say you've got Edmonton as a preseason pick for yourself, but you've also said the landscape changed. If you had to pick one Canadian team that could get it done, you still think that could be the Oilers?
It could be the Oilers, or like if Winnipeg can get through Colorado in this first round, I think they could go on a run. They've got like arguably the best goaltender in the league, Connor Hellebuyck, and their depth is like really good. So kind of similar to last year's Vegas team where they didn't have any like high end, top 5 player on their team. When Colorado has like probably 2 of the top 5 players in the league on their team. But they've got so much depth and great goaltending, and that's what you need to win. So Winnipeg or Edmonton, it's not going to be my Leafs. I hate to say. I hope I can mush.
You can reverse mush
them, but I just can't see. I can't see them beating Boston, let alone getting through the rest of the East.
Prano, do you have any clue where if I said to you randomly, where's Winnipeg or Edmonton on a map? Like I have no clue.
I mean,
is Edmonton western of the country?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell you this. I know what happens on the far, like if I had to plot them west to east, maybe I could do it. But like I know where. Listen, first of all, let me repeat. I've said this many times before. I failed Intro to Canada in college, so I have great hatred for. I think history of Canada, Intro to Canada. I took it 1 credit pass fail because it was once a week, and I still failed it. So that was a devastating L. But Edmonton, like would Edmonton sort of be up above like the Dakotas area? Is that the Saskatchewan area?
Like Saskatchewan's above the Dakota.
Right.
Saskatchewan straddles the Dakotas and Montana, and then Alberta, where Edmonton is, would be above Montana.
West of that.
Yeah.
And
Alberta is west of
Saskatchewan. Vancouver's team would be west of them.
Correct. Yeah. And Winnipeg is east of Saskatchewan, but we don't. You don't need to go to Winnipeg or no. It's a shithole. It's a fucking absolute desolate shithole. So,
really?
It's sorry to any Winnipeg dirtballs that there may be out there, but your city.
All right, now if I was going west east, so then you'd have Winnipeg then, and then would be the next east team would be Calgary.
No, you're going the right. So Calgary and Edmonton are both in Alberta.
Oh, there you go.
So talk to me about this Phoenix situation.
Oh yeah, sure. Fuck. That it kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, the Coyotes have been struggling like for a long time. I mean,
fan-wise.
fan wise, on ice product wise, ownership wise, like I don't know if I've ever talked about it on here, if you guys have ever mentioned it, but for this year and last year, they've been playing in a 5,000 seat capacity university. They're playing where ASU hockey team plays. Like it's an absolute joke because the city of Glendale like basically kicked them out of where they were playing before.
So were they ever playing where the Suns played?
I think like so when Winnipeg Jets, the original Winnipeg Jets, relocated to Phoenix to become the Coyotes.
Okay.
And they originally played in downtown Phoenix, where I believe where the Suns play.
Yeah,
right?
that's where they play.
And the team did well. And, they got good fan support playing downtown. And they had a pretty good team at the time, too, in the late 90s, early 2000s with Jeremy Roenick and Keith Kachuk and Nikolai Habibulin. But then they moved them out to Glendale. And then the fans started diminishing and their on-ice product was really bad for 20 years. They had one Western Conference final run in 2012, but other than that, it was pretty abysmal period of time in Glendale. And so the management, situation was really bad too. And the city of Glendale, I don't know all the details, but they basically like ended their lease agreement or whatever it is with the Coyotes. So then they were like without a home. So then they plopped them into where the ASU hockey team plays, which seats 5,000 people.
That's crazy.
That's like
insane.
Such a bad look for the NHL, right? Like probably a lot better atmosphere in there. Like you got a packed barn of 5,000 people as opposed
I think Ski Dog fucked more than 5,000 chicks last year, dude. It's fucking. He can't even.
Oh, Ski Dog.
Ski Dog would fit into ASU frat party.
Oh yeah, dude. Brandon, we know Tempe.
Yeah.
It's fun when I think ASU. You know what I always think of? Do you guys remember that chick who was an ASU cheerleader turned like porn star in like the 2000s?
Jen Sturger. She was on our show, wasn't she?
Is that MILF talk?
It wasn't Jen Sturger. That's because like ASU, which by the way, that'd be a great school to go to if you wanted to party, but not have your pro hockey team like 2 seasons.
Well, this is the more interesting question for me. So they're moving to Utah.
Yeah. So
Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I assume they'll play where the Jazz play.
Yeah. So they basically looked and said, look, they got a arena that's ready to go. And if, how long are we going to wait for us to get a new arena in Phoenix and play at this fucking 5,000 seat arena in the meantime for 4 more years? And it's just terrible, like revenue generation for the league. Right. So they made the decision to move them, and it kind of came out of nowhere, I feel like, but I mean, the writing's been on the wall.
Does the NHL, like when I think of baseball and I think of basketball, those leagues have been talking about expanding forever, and there's a bunch of like if there's an announcement that Portland was getting a baseball team, or they were going back to Montreal, or the NBA is going back to Seattle, or Vegas is getting an NBA team, no one would be shocked. Is when the NHL talks about cities. Have there been cities that have been just like floating around in the ether like that for hockey for a while? And was Salt Lake one of them?
Salt Lake did kind of pop up like from time to time, but it wasn't a front runner. Like when the topic of relocating the Coyotes kind of came up like, around a year ago, and Houston was a really big name that kept popping up. A lot of people, like a lot of Canadians, they want a team back in Quebec City, and I don't think that'll happen, but
because there's no Senators anymore.
Oh no, that Quebec was the Nordiques.
Oh, right,
they relocated to Colorado and became the Avalanche.
Right.
So,
where's Ottawa? Is the Senators?
Yeah, and they're still around.
They're still there,
but there's 32 teams.
They are,
right?
But they're not. No.
How many teams are in the NHL?
32, and they were talking about they want up to like 36, which is like just stop already.
Well, that's what I don't get. So I saw Gary Bettman. He mentioned, because it made, not that they would ever get a team here because they wouldn't, but like he mentions a bunch of cities, and he threw in Cincinnati in February, and everybody here was like, "What?" And
fucking Columbus.
Yeah, which exactly, and we don't have a new arena. Like there's no arena, so everybody here, like of course it made the news, and that's why I was confused. He mentioned a bunch of cities. He's like, "Oh, we've had talks with, and he names like 4 or 5 cities, and you're like, "Wait, you already have 32 teams."
Yeah, I don't think there's
36?
any. Yeah, that was a number that was thrown out. It's like, man, we don't. I was good with 30. 32 is fucking like we got to stop at 32, I think. But I mean, if it makes more money for the league, they're gonna try.
Will they be
right?
the Utah Coyotes? Has there been any announcement of
So no, they're getting a new everything. They're leaving behind the entire history of the Coyotes is staying in Phoenix. So they're starting fresh. It's like what Baltimore did with the old Browns.
Ravens?
Right? They left everything in Cleveland. So yeah, that's what's happening. So there'll be
Which
a
is
new
crazy,
name.
I assume there are Coyotes in Utah.
Yeah, like it could have worked, but
Bro, there's Coyotes where I live.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's been some names floating around. My favorite is the Storm and Mormons. That'd be sick. But I think like Utah Yeti was one name. It's
I like
got
that.
another mythical creature in there. But
you know what I have sorry to cut you off. I have a suspicion. Our old buddy Nick D'Alessandro. I wonder if he's going to be doing work for them because it's the same owner of the Jazz, and they'll be saying
Ryan Smith, right?
Yeah, they'll be playing in the same arena.
Yeah,
their mascot should definitely be Soaker.
No, I think in honor of Nick, their mascot should be 5 a.m. cheese.
The cheese sticks.
The cheese sticks.
I think it should be Soaker, and it should be two. It should be one guy in one costume, but it looks like two people that are stuck together.
So that's obviously starts next year.
Yeah,
I feel like they're gonna, and that city. I don't know what I mean. There's obviously skiing, and it's an outdoor city. I feel like they're going to be very well received in Utah.
I do too. Bettman, as much flack as he gets, like he's not a dummy, and he, I'm sure he did, his research, and he feels that this is a good play for the league, and I think it's going to work out well. Salt Lake City, I think of 2002 Winter Olympics, pretty, special memory for me, Canada winning that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's going to work out. It was just kind of a shocking revelation where it's kind of, you usually hear more rumblings of a team moving, but yeah, that's that. The players are moving, and then all the history is staying behind in Phoenix, even like the retired numbers and everything. So
wow,
moving on.
It's a tough. That's a tough. I'll tell you what. For those party players, that's a tough L. You go from playing on Tempe, just all these wild college kids.
Fucking near beer.
Yeah, to like you can't even have sex. You just be soaking in girls.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Ski Dog's not interested in moving to Utah.
Ski Dog says that's an X. That's a no for Utah.
Hard no. Let me ask them, Ryan, because I don't know anything about the NHL. Do they reseed every round, or is there a bracket that I can follow?
That's the other fucking thing I hate about this playoffs. They don't reseed, so you stay within your bracket. So you're gonna get, you're gonna have to go through the gauntlet of your own division. I used to love, teams getting thrown in the blender after every round, right, and seeing, new matchups every year. But that's not the case. Yeah. So so if the Rangers win, they would play the winner of the Hurricanes Islanders series.
Ooh, and you like the Hurricanes? Ooh, man, I'm kind of hoping for an Islanders get through. That'd be electric in New York.
It would, yeah. And the Islanders they also fired their coach midway through the year, and they hired Patrick Waugh.
I saw that. Yeah,
you did see that. Okay,
yeah.
And you wondering who Patrick Waugh is?
No, he's a great all-time goalie, right?
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. Well done, Andy. You're learning something. Yeah, yeah. So they brought him in, and I'll also say Patrick Waugh, also one of the all-time lunatics. He is a fucking snapcase.
Yeah.
But all-time great goalie.
One of the lead reasons that he's a lunatic is he doesn't know how the word Roy is pronounced.
Correct. Well, yeah, he's French, they don't know how anything works. So
that was very Norm Macdonald-esque.
Yeah. Well, number one reason he's crazy. Yeah, he doesn't know his last name's Roy.
Reminds me of that
Hard to
tragedy.
fuck up ROY. Soprano was joking about being in a Kenny Rogers Roasters. Remember famous cowboy Wah Rogers?
Hey, let me ask you something, Ryan. Completely off topic.
Yo.
What kind? You're a parent. What kind of advice can you give to a relatively new parent like myself? Like,
Oh, sure, yeah. I've got a good one for you, Andy.
I'm all ears.
So we're currently potty training my daughter who just turned 3.
Okay.
We finally, like a few weeks before she turned 3, we were like, we gotta fucking, commit to this. So my wife, who's, a rock star mom, she goes out, buys a potty training book, she crushes it in like one night. And she said, like, the first page of the book is like, if your child is over the age of 2.5, like you've already fucked up. So we're like, oh, great. So yeah, that's my advice for you. Don't wait till after 2.5 years old to try and potty train. Try to get on it earlier. And you just you switch to underwear and you just stay strong. And it sucks because you got to watch them like a hawk 24/7. But after 2.5, they start getting more opinions and they get more complicated feelings. So it does.
Sure. Well, it's funny. It's very fitting that you would say that tonight, because tonight was the first night. She's 14 months. She peed all, like, get her naked before you throw her in the bath. She's never peed. Just sometimes she's walking around. Peed all over our bedroom tonight. So it's fitting that you would give that advice, because I'm like, what are you doing?
Ski Dog's got a very similar story from last weekend, Brad.
Ski Dog pissed all over the bar, didn't think twice. Yeah.
That's why they call him Ski Dog. He lifts his leg.
I feel like we gotta call this episode Ski Dog.
Ski Dog's gotta be in the title.
Literally just episode 1032, Ski Dog.
The Revenge of Ski Dog.
Intro to Ski Dog. I don't know.
Intro to Ski Dog. That's an intro to Canada and a Ski Dog reference.
There you go.
Well, Ryan, is there any other parting words you want to give for us?
Oh man, no, I don't think so. I mean, we're
gonna have to have you back on throughout the playoffs, especially if my Rangers can make a run. I was talking about it before. I'm so excited for what's happening at Madison Square Garden this spring. I hope it lasts for everybody into the summer. So it'll be great if you're still here talking Rangers hockey in June.
Yeah. Let's hang on. We'll have to give Kyle Aronofsky a second to wipe the vomit off his chin.
Yeah. Well, the Devils. I did a quick peruse of the upcoming playoff schedule. I don't even see the Devils.
Devils had a rough year. They couldn't get a save, and they had a lot of injuries. So tough year for the Devils. After they got all the saves for. And to be years.
Fair, I will give Kyle Aronofsky credit. I think it was might have been 2 seasons, not this past year, not the last year when you were on, but 2 seasons ago. He was like, "Don't worry, dude. Rangers are, drafts and all this stuff. They're like dialed to be good. 2 years from now for the fucking foreseeable future." And so far, so good. He's pretty spot on.
Kyle does know puck. I will say that. Not that he needs a tire pump, but
yeah. He knows puck. And I'll tell you what. Ski Dog knows fuck. That's what Ski Dog knows.
Ski Dog knows fuck, yeah.
Well, let's try to bring you on, because Ryan and I were talking on DM. Last year he did every 2 weeks during the playoffs.
Love it.
Let's try to stick with that.
Yeah, I'm on like a set schedule right now. So I told Andy Mondays would typically work for me because I'm off Monday. I work Monday like in the night, but Monday during the day I'm off.
And this should be my last Sunday we need to do for a while. So that works out perfectly.
Yeah.
Is your favorite song Quad City DJs? Come and ride the train and ride choo choo. That's a jam, man. Like you get a bunch of white people at a wedding, they're all gonna go do the train.
Yeah, of course. White people will do, pretty unspeakable things at weddings. Being honest. At my wedding, some of my wife's cousins, they dumped a bunch of like booze on the floor and were like sliding across it like a slip and slide. Like
sounds pretty Sasky of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a total Sasky move.
Yeah. Total
Ski
Sasky
Dog,
move.
Ski Dog took a dump at his buddy's wedding. Just
Yeah,
They're
middle
Ski
of
Dog
the
was
floor.
at my
They're
wedding.
sliding around in that on the dance floor.
Ski Dog was the one who started that.
Ryan, always good to have you on. We're glad to have you back, and we look forward to going through these playoffs with you.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, excited to be on the Substack era. And yeah.
You're
keep
behind
it
a paywall now. Thanks for being here, Ryan. We appreciate it. We'll see you in a couple weeks, and enjoy the playoffs.
All right. You too.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right. See you boys later. Keep your stick on the ice.
Keep your stick on
Ski
the
dog.
ice.
That's what Ski Dog says.
It's a real ski dog.
He said, keep your stick in the vag.
Keep your
That's
stick
what
on
he
the
said.
ice, boys. Ski dog out. I got time for like maybe a quick call unless you want to wrap this up.
Let's save the call.
Yeah, that's great. My girlfriend was like, "When are you done? Are you gonna be in here for dinner?" I was like 8 p.m. I was like before 8.
I said my goal was to be in my bed sleeping at midnight, so I got about 64 minutes to get this bad boy locked and loaded.
Well, Andy, appreciate it. I've had, as you see, anybody who watched this on video, my graphic has said Stamford, Connecticut, April 25th underneath my name. I'll be there this Thursday, Stamford, Connecticut, April 25th.
Is it Stanford or Stamford?
Stamford with an M.
Okay.
Yeah. Stamford, Connecticut, April 25th, New York Comedy Club, Stamford. Get your tickets now. I'll be at the West Side Comedy Theater on Wednesday, in West Side Comedy Club in New York City Wednesday. Stand Friday. Stand Monday the 29th. Gotham Comedy Club April 30th, unless I cancel that show to go to the Knicks game with one of you guys. And then Stand again on May 1st. Hopefully some cellar dates mixed in. And yeah, but if you're in the greater New York area, come to Stamford. I'd really appreciate it. It's going to be a great set. Pete Sestaro is going to be there. Bronson Jones is going to be there. Chris Warren's going to be there. It's going to be a fun night.
Word. All right, guys, that is our show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we'll be back on Thursday. Have a great start to your week. And as always, stay dirty.